In this video, we're going to look at the customer portal in TeamPoint. The customer portal is an area where your customers can log in and they can see all of the work that's been allocated to them, all of the jobs and the quotes and the sites. So everything that relates to them within TeamPoint, they have visibility. Now, it's completely optional whether you allow your customers to log into TeamPoint or not, and it may be that you want some of them to log in and you don't want other ones to log in. That's completely up to you. You can set those logins up. We'll look at how to do that in another video. But if you do give them access, this is what they're going to see. So this is the home page of the customer portal. It has two main sections. The first one is activity since you last logged on, and the second one is all outstanding items. So activity is just a little snapshot of what's happened since we last logged on. So we can see that 2 jobs have been completed, 2 new jobs have been added, and 1 quote has been added. This is all since I last logged into the system. All these things are clickable, so we can go and see the detail. So we could click here, for instance. These are the 2 jobs that have been completed, so we can see the detail of them. We can see the site, the description of the works. We can print the worksheet as well. So the worksheet will look like this. Obviously, it would have your branding on. This is just a demo worksheet. So they can see full detail, a full breakdown. They can see a risk assessment on the worksheet. They can see the before and after photos, the customer sign-offs, all of these things. So that's the worksheet. So let's come back to the home page. So we can click in and see details of all of these items. The activity section has got completed jobs. We can see 2 new jobs have been added. We can see a new quotation has been added. If we look down to outstanding items, we can see all of our jobs that are in progress. So it's telling me I've got 14 jobs in progress at the moment, and I can click through and see the details of all of these jobs. And we also have 2 open quotes. If I click through to my quotes, I can see a list of the quotes, but I can also accept these quotes online as well. So if I click here, this gives me a web page with the full details of the quotation, the terms and conditions, and it gives me an acceptance section at the bottom, so I can type my name in, my job title, I can upload a purchase order number, and I can accept this quotation, which will then drop back into the other side of TeamPoint and create a work order from the back of that. So that's the quote exception section, which is very useful from a customer point of view. The other 2 main things that we have on the homepage are request a job and request a quote. So our customers can request us to come and do some work, and they can also request us to provide a price for some work, whichever one they want. So to request a job, we just click here. We find our site. So let's see. Okay, here's one of my sites. I'm picking from my site list. These are only the sites that are logged against this customer. So I choose my site. I put a description of the work. Let's say male toilets overflowing. Please attend and prepare. And we'll save that. And that submits a job request into the main TeamPoint system. So when we're logged in on the other side, we'll be able to see this job request. The same with a quote request. Exactly the same. We find the site, we put a description of what we'd like to be quoted for, and we submit the request. Let's just refresh. So now I've refreshed this page. We can see that we have 1 open job request in here. So we can track our job requests and our quote requests. They sit in here until they've been acted on from the other side, where we'll log in. We'll see a job request, and we can either accept or decline that job request. Again, we'll look at job and quote requests in a little bit more detail in another video. This is just a general overview of the whole customer portal. So we've been through the home page. It's basically about looking at jobs and quotes, printing worksheets, requesting new jobs and new quotes. We also have a site list here, so we can get a list of all of our sites that we have registered. That just takes a second to load. Here are all of our sites. And again, we have all of the rest of the information about jobs, quotes, service contracts, invoices, but now it's broken down to a site level, which can make things a little bit easier to manage. We also have an asset register against each site as well. So if we're managing asset registers for our customers, they will be able to see all their assets in here as well. Let me just click back to my home page. So these are the sites. We also have some additional information here about what percentage of our sites are covered by a service contract. So we can see here, this customer has 50 sites and no service contracts against those sites at all. So it's saying we have a 0% coverage against service contracts for our site. So that's something that we might want to change. Let's quickly go through the rest of the menu options. These things kind of cover what we've already highlighted on the homepage. So we can see we have 14 jobs in progress. We have completed jobs. There's over 1,000 completed jobs in here. So we can click through. We'll just do that. We can see all of our completed jobs and we can go and search for these jobs. We can search by site name, by postcode, whatever we like. So we have a full history of the works that have been completed for us. We can see we've got one open job request, which we've discussed already, and we can book a new job, which is the same as clicking the request a job button. Quotes, again, very similar. It shows we have 2 open quotes. We have no quote requests, and we can request a quote. Invoices, again, we can see all of the invoices that have ever been raised for us and sent to us, and we can reprint those invoices from the list. So that's a very top level summary of the customer portal. And the aim of it is to give your customers a sort of self-service area, to give as much information, to push as much information out to them as possible, and to reduce the calls and the emails that come into your office, resulting in better customer service to your customers and a reduced overhead and workload for your office.